Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester, and my name is Junior. And today we're going to be reviewing Hot Toys. If you can't figure it out by now, the 1/6 scale version of Wolverine, the deluxe version. There he is, Mr. Hugh Jackson. I was gonna say Hugh Grant. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackman. Hugh Grant, Hugh Jackson, Hugh Grant, Jackman. I eventually get there. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna unbox and I'm gonna tell you a little bit of story. This was part of the time when I'm doing purchase on my pre-orders, and I seriously thought of not going through with my pre-order in this one. I got this one from 1/6 kit, I believe for 310 or 330. I can't remember, but I do know that when I was doing the calculations, and this was before tariffs and everything. I do know that when I was doing the calculations, it would still end up being $25 cheaper than Sideshow Collectibles, which is where I usually get my 1/6 scale Hot Toys. But with taxes and shipping, which Sideshow charges, and it's a ripoff now what they do with their bonuses, because I don't order a lot of Sideshow. The only reward for those Sideshow bonus points is if you order over and over from Sideshow, so that you don't lose your bonus points. When they started expiring those, that was such a ripoff for all their customers, because I only order from them maybe once every 6 months, once a year, because it's expensive Hot Toys, and and by the time you order a new one, those bonus points you have, they expired. There was a time when I had like 3 orders come in at the same time, and I have a good enough bonus points, like 60, I think like 60 or $40 worth, and it all became wasted because my fourth order didn't come in until they had expired. So that kind of pissed me off, and that's why I started avoiding Sideshow. They used to be really good with their bonus points and reward points, letting it accumulate over and over until you use it. But then when they had it expired, that was just rip off. Just a rip off, I think. So let me take the guy out of the package so he doesn't fall all around, and then we can kind of look and see what's left here properly. So we have the base. I'm gonna have to take out the base because I need something for him to stand on. This one, extra pegs, the gadget for moving the eyes. This is the silicone hand, which is kind of interesting. We'll talk about that. And clawed hands. And I'm not sure if those are detachable, but it seems like they're already attached. Okay. The Hugh Jackman hands. Hugh Jackman head. I thought I got away with it. The replaceable body armor. And the switch out mouth plates. 1 and 2. Alright, let me get this out of here. So as I was saying, I was really seriously considering canceling this and losing my deposit of I think $15-20. But there was some photos coming out and it was really good, and here's the logo, by the way. Rough texture, smooth, rough texture. And I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go and keep it. Why? Because finally we're getting a Wolverine in our collection that's kind of comic, close to being comic, with the costume on. It's not just Hugh Jackman, it's Wolverine. And I don't have Deadpool, but I'm planning on displaying him with my Avengers, and Spider-Man, and yeah. So I don't really like Deadpool. He's okay. He's an okay character, but I think mostly overblown. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is good in it, but it's just, you know, a lot of foams going on. By the way, as you can see from the background over there, I just reviewed Iron Man from Hono slash Hot Toys, 1/6 scale, and looks like these just pop off. Oh, it's magnetic. Interesting. So watch out for that, because if you're not watching out, then you might lose one of the shoulders. And I'm assuming I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this off and pull this off and pull this off, and then we'll put back on. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Of course, one of the things that's kind of scary about this is staining the flesh tone, which is freaking amazing. At least it's very, very easy to remove the hands, or yeah, the hands. Wow. All right. So we're gonna, I don't remember which is which now. Is this left or right? Right. So right is right here. Oh, so it actually is magnetized to this part, not here. So that's kind of interesting. See? So you can kind of move it a little bit so it covers up the torn part. All right. Here he is, just on a regular T-pose, right? We'll deal with that. So before we deal with that, let's close up on this. Nice. I mean, like, it's Hot Toys. It's nice detail. It's almost second to none. Well, it is second to none now. It's second to in art. So I should say second to one. So it's still hell of a quality. This is still plastic. I don't think it's removable. I'm not even gonna try to attempt it. It's really, really thin over there. And this is just the other part of it. So just gotta be careful I don't break that. And here's one of the mouth plates with an open, angry teeth. Here's the second mouth plate. Open mouth, closed teeth. The teeth is just unbelievable what they're doing. The 1/6 scale teeth, and it's, you know, it's good when you're talking about teeth. You know what I mean? So I apologize for the switching back and forth. My camera just does it automatically. My phone, so. So here is the chest plate with the bullet holes and everything. It's just plastic and it just pegs in. The shape by itself, okay, so it just pegs in like that. Okay. Nice detail and everything. Can't really fault Hot Toys for that. Finally, the Hugh Jackman head. Can I remove this from here? Yes. He looks old, he looks tired, he looks like Hugh Jackman. I'm not going to show the, well, I'll pull it out so you can see the inside. But I don't really mess around with the eye thing, so I'm not going to show you guys that. Man, look at that though. It's like you really just cut off Hugh Jackman's head. Really good pores. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, not to knock off Hot Toys. I mean, to be honest, in art, I feel does a lot, like one or two steps higher than Hot Toys. And I believe Hot Toys would have kept their standing as being one of the best if they had not become complacent. You know, they've been kind of lazy when they started messing around with their Iron Man. It's all the same Robert Downey head sculpts reused over and over. And it just became like another one, really. Not even any kind of changes. All right, so this is this magnetic too? It is magnetic, so that's good. So you can switch out. You notice that there is a difference between this and this one. See, one has more damage and the other one's cleaner. Um, and this is the one that came attached to this whole sleeve thing. So what I wanted to say is this is, I believe, not silicone. Um, it is hard plastic in there, but because this detaches from the whole body, they basically stitched it to this one. It's kind of interesting to see how they did it, and then it's just probably glued in here. So this, I'm not afraid of bending. The only thing I'm afraid of is because the fabric they use now, in order to get all these pattern, they rubberize it or they coat it with something. Also, there's no ratchet to the elbow, so see, that's kind of weak. Does have bicep articulation, so that's good. It's double jointed, but you only get as far as 90. So this, even though it's not silicone, it will also is probably more susceptible to damage than the medical grade silicone Iron Man in the background over there. So don't get too complacent about leaving it in a pose like that. I just noticed that there's basically just these two hands are almost exactly the same. This one's just slightly more closed. Then of course we have the closed fist. So this almost fits this and the sleeveless Wolverine. But we only have one set of this gauntlet, by the way. Yeah, so no ratchets on the elbow. Anyway, okay. We get to mess around with the guy. Oh yeah, well, I might as well look at the head sculpt. Yeah, see, I mean, like, it's Hugh Jackman underneath there, and at the same time it's Wolverine. This is what I've been waiting for all those years from Marvel with Fox, but they never did, and finally Disney and Deadpool gave it to us. I think we saw it in one of the Wolverines where it's coming out of the suitcase, and that's basically it. I'm going to remove this right now so we can mess around with the articulation of this one. Because it's a separate piece that is removable, you get full articulation of this one. You don't have to be afraid. This one is silicone. So let's see. At least this one has a ratchet, so that's good. It gets you up to 90. More than 90, because this silicone here is a lot thinner, it seems like, than Iron Man. Wow, even one more ratchet up. So the joints on this one is definitely stronger, and I feel like the silicone here is much more thinner. See, if they only did that for everything, then I would have been much more happier. Also notice, in my review of Iron Man, I mentioned that as you bend it, one of the things I liked was the fact that you almost can't tell that it's rubber because of how natural the bend looks like. Because this one is thinner, that's really ugly. But in Iron Man, you don't see that. Let me see if I can bring Iron Man out here. So maybe this is a different kind of rubber. See, this is the part that I was talking about. See that? Look at that. It still looks natural, right? Look at that. It still looks natural. Oops. Compared to the one with Wolverine, and that's just the it's thicker. The rubber is definitely thicker here than the Wolverine one, and so it has a little bit more resistance than that one. Also, you probably noticed that his arm is thinner in the sculpture than Iron Man's, but apologies for that. But yeah, I think they're more successful with Iron Man in terms of sculpture because here you can't see it, but definitely here it's just like that doesn't look natural. While we're here, I wanted to show the detail on what's going on in the skin tone over here. It's rough. I don't really approve of the rough texture that they're putting on the skin right now, especially when they put it on the head because this is 1/6 scale. The smaller the the smaller the scale is, the more smoother this should be. It shouldn't be that rough. If this were to translate into an actual person, it wouldn't be this kind of skin you're seeing. It would be almost like old crinkly skin. But having said that, the musculature, the sculpture looks very, very good. Looks veiny. Looks very. It looks like the muscles of an old man who's keeping fit. Is what I would say. Like this guy looks really, really lean, and no fat at all to his body muscle mass. The hands, that is kind of unsightly where you see the flesh tone, so you just gotta move it around a little bit. It's got a usual ball peg, and it's big too, so you gotta just do the usual trick where you pull it off a little bit to get the range. Otherwise, yeah. The torso, let's see what the torso does. It's got a ratchet, so that's good. The second ratchet, third ratchet, and I feel that's the most you can get. That's probably the most you want anyway. Two going back, third going back, and I feel like that's good enough. So this is a separate piece that's floating and it's not attached. That's good. And it's really tight too, so it's not like it's gonna bunch up and you're gonna have a problem with it. That's really good twist right there. That's all you need. Really good bunching of the fabric too, almost realistic. And it goes back to the original. This is still okay. I feel like it's kind of like a baggy pants. It's got to be the stitching pattern that's causing that, which I really don't like. There's a padding of some sort going on in the leggings. No ratchets on the hip leg articulation, which is kind of sucky because this has padding, it's thick, and it is resisting. So that's about what you're gonna get, about 45 degree. Yeah, if it, they should have had ratchet in this one. If you know you're gonna put that much thick, no ratchet on the legs as well, but it's very tight and it can hold it pretty well. They should have had ratchets here. There is a twist on the legs, as you can see. This is one piece rubber. Amazing they're still doing that, Hot Toys. Yes, the joints are nice and tight. The ankle can go down that much. That much. Maybe it's good enough. It's just, but they could have had a cut here and hide it. Maybe it's good enough. Sideways. That's basically it. So you can get a wide stance if you want to. All right. And forgot to do the head. Head looks up really well. Slightly down. Does it have movement on the neck? Yes, there is. So you can add that to the movement of the neck. Ooh, it moves forward like that. What is the seam going on over here? It just widened up. Oh, is that part of that? Is part. That's why there's a seam there. Just pull face like so. Oh, it's magnetic too. Yeah. That looks good like that. Alright, so this is a really, really good figure. Like, I didn't even pose it, but it's so good that it looks natural just doing that. And it's so good that because of the possibilities of how you can display him, all you need to pull from the base of the neck. Pulls out. No perspective eyes in that one. You have to pull this entire thing. You got to be careful when you're pulling it that you're not holding onto this one, because that's how it's supposed to be. So, and while we have this one, we might as well replace the chest plate, right? I'm gonna go reverse order on that one and secure the back first. Okay, you gotta push that in there because otherwise it's not all the way in. And then you gotta pull down here and secure it here. Yeah. It's nice and secure like that. We're gonna keep the arms on, and we're gonna put the Jackman head on. Just be careful about these, the neckline. Yeah, this is a really good figure. It's a really good figure. I don't have any particularly favorite scene in the movie, so it's not like, oh, I gotta put on the pauldrons and the shoulder guards and everything. So like, just that's good enough for me as it is. You can add on more stuff and change the look. I believe this is the right side. You can have them without the pauldron here, or both of them on. Having the magnetic thing there was really a good idea from Hot Toys. This figure is so good and offers so much possibility in how you're going to display it. I am torn in deciding whether I want him as Hugh Jackman or as Wolverine. Uh, but um, now that we've seen him in kind of like a Hugh Jackman pose, let me pause really quick and I'll put on the full Wolverine costume. Just want to include a part where I'm pulling this off, see, so you guys can see how it's like. I don't know how it is, but again, just being careful. Oof, this one's kind of scary. Oh, the other look that you can pull off too is like just having without the gauntlet, because that muscle looks good too, even to this point. Yeah, the only thing is like, man, because when I'm pulling on this one, I can feel the silicone fighting me, and I don't want to force it. So, and I'm like in the wrong position too. There. So you just gotta pull really hard. When I'm pulling here and here. I'm not pulling on this one. If you do, you're probably gonna break that elbow. All right, so I will tell you right now. Pulling these arms off. See now, I've kind of somewhat deformed it because when I was pulling on it, and we get to see what's inside here. Pulling these arms off has to be one of the worst experiences, frustrating experiences you're probably gonna have, because if you just paid over $300 worth of your money on this thing, you're gonna be really, really careful on your handling with this one. And it looks like it might be metal underneath there. I'm not sure if that's just for show. I hope it is metal, because when you're pulling this is really, really tight. When you're pulling this, there's two parts of this where you can easily break this. You can either break this by pulling it incorrectly here, and you're gonna destroy this part, or, and this is the one thing that's probably the most crucial, is the bicep. There's no place to hold it when you're pulling it, because I can hold it easily now here, but once this is attached to the chest, you don't have the space here. You have this space and here, so you're kind of pulling against the bicep articulation. And if you pull on this too hard, I feel like it might separate from the shoulder, and that's where your breakage is gonna come. It is really, really tight in there, and it's very, very unpleasant, because I can literally feel my $300 being destroyed if I make this the wrong way. I would recommend, yes, pulling off the gauntlet when you're doing it. That way you're not having to, and then pull out the hand as well, which I just realized something's wrong. Like, it completely buried the, see, it buried it. See, it pulled the whole sleeve of the arm, because that's how it's supposed to look like. You'll see. Here's a comparison, because this is literally, the skin is literally sliding out of the sleeve. Let's see the difference between the two. Yeah, that's really, really scary. Which basically, I mean, like, I'm not the kind of guy that keeps switching back and forth anyway. But I really, this looks good. This is what I've always wanted. But I gotta admit, I might want to put this one in Hugh Jackman's face, which and completely defeats the purpose of why, of all those times I've been waiting to get him. But I feel like that's almost like the best look. Oh my gosh. Okay. Value is, I'm gonna, before I messed around with the hands, I already knew the value was 15. Having played with the hands and the arms, I'm gonna leave it at 15 because I don't even know how they could have made it easier for us to pull those hands off. Maybe like I didn't have as much problem with Iron Man. I think when I pulled it. Wait, I didn't even pull his hands off, the arms off. So I don't know if you're supposed to. Yeah, I just like if they could have made this an easier experience. But I'll leave it at 15, kind of sliding towards 14. This is just a beautiful piece. It honestly is. Except maybe for this one, which is but that kind of stuff, that feels like metal. That ratchet. Here it's not so bad, but yeah, there's just no way of avoiding how ugly that is. I mean, except for the Iron Man, which they did pretty good. Like they really did a good job on this thing. So yeah, value of 15. I'll keep it at 15, low 15, maybe almost 14. A beautiful piece, almost as beautiful as the Iron Man in terms of like the Iron Man, classic Iron Man did what it's needed to do, which is look beautiful. This does the same thing. It looks beautiful. It looks just like the Wolverine that I wanted. It looks just like Hugh Jackman. There's almost the ratchets in the arms are good. This is, yeah. I'm almost ready to knock it down to 14 because of how badly they messed around with the hips and the legs. That really should have been articulated. In fact, you know what? Value 14, base price 330. We'll put it at 14. Now that I got reminded of how badly this thing is. I mean, it's just if you're gonna do, if you, they're the manufacturers. If you know you're gonna thicken this up, add ratchets here because you know there's gonna be resistance, just a little bit. I can't believe that they even tested it and see, oh, it's not worth it, it's not working, because this is really strong. The ratchets and oh, not this one, this one. The ratchets in this one is really strong, like really strong. Why couldn't you apply that kind of ratchet here? And that really feels like metal. Yeah, good on them for doing magnets. And this one, that's really good. Really good expressions on the mouse plate. This headpiece is just amazing. So I'm really glad I didn't cancel it. Like I said, there were photographs floating around of good photographers who did showcase this one, which made me change my mind, and I'm glad that I did. This is a value of 14. You definitely need to get it. Finally, we get a good Hugh Jackman in a Wolverine costume, and you get a really good option between the two. And I hope you get a chance to get the deluxe version because that's the only way to go. Yep, that's it. That's it for my review of the 1/6 scale deluxe Wolverine from Wolverine and Deadpool movie by Hot Toys. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review. Bye.